Good morning again. Having difficulty with the computer today. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but they keep cutting me off at about 7 minutes, although it says I'm approved to do videos over 15 minutes long. So I don't know if it's something with my computer or a glitch with YouTube. I do know they changed their process yesterday so that now the videos come to you almost instantly, but with the lower quality, which were similar to what we did on Facebook. So they may still have a glitch in there. So our Psalms 5, I'm picking up again, and I hope you listened to part 1. And now we're going to pick up again because we were just getting ready to talk about verse 8 through 10, where David, like he does in so many of the Psalms, seems to tell God what to do with his enemies. And in this case, he says, by their own devices, let them fall, O God. In the multitude of their transgressions, thrust them out, for they are rebellious against you. And it's almost like tattletale. And it's almost like, when I look at this, sometimes I'm like, David, how dare you tell God what to do? But we see that David does that a lot. But it's just his open expression to God. And when I think about it, it's really because we see David always come back in these Psalms, no matter how despaired he is, how anxious he is about his enemies, he always comes back to the realization that God has always been his refuge, his strength, his salvation, his hope, when he comes back to that. And so this is like a venting to God. And I think that's okay. Because you see what David is doing then, if you take this in line with what he said in the last couple of Psalms, that after I speak to you, God, then I'm able to lie down and sleep. In other words, he's getting all this stuff off. Rather than holding this stuff and scheming revenge, he's just blowing off this steam to God and saying, God, these guys are terrible. They're full of lies. They're full of deception, and I just hope, Lord, that you just take care of them, and this is the way you should do it. And it's just kind of like blowing off steam. And then after he does that, instead of seeking that revenge himself and letting that worry bother him, he then is able to seek refuge in God and find peace in him. That's the explanation that I think of how David could get away with, it's sounding so often like he's telling God what to do. It's just an honest dialogue, an honest, heartfelt dialogue that, these guys are lying to me, God. I'm tired of it. And thank you, Lord, for what you've done. And God brings that peace in his life. And we know that by the way David ends this psalm and the way he ends so many of the psalms, coming back to that realization that God does do that for him, that he is his refuge, he is his salvation, he is his stronghold. So let's pick up then verse 11. See if we can get this recorded. Remember, you have to watch part 1 and part 2 today in the never-ending serial, Psalm 5. Okay, here we go. Verse 11. But let all who take refuge in you be glad. Let them ever sing for joy, and may you shelter them. For those who love your name may exult in you. That those who love your name may exult in you. For it is you who blesses the righteous man, O Lord. You surround him with favor as with a shield. You see here again, God is given due recognition by David once again. Yes, he's distracted by the things going on around him, and we get distracted by that. We get beat up by stuff every day, and phone calls and stuff and people and what's going on, and Lord, and all these lies around me, Lord, would you deal with that, Lord? And then it's like, of course you will, Lord. Of course you will. You have everything in control. You always have had, and you always will have. And even though it seems like it's twirling out of control for me, I know that you have it in control. And I'll take my refuge in you. And I'll be glad in you. I'll sing songs of joy to you because I know you surround me like a shield. What a great attitude. If we can learn from David today what he's taught us about praying to God early in the morning and then eagerly watching, about recognizing that we'll one day enter God's holy house by his loving grace and his abundant loving kindness. And then finally, that with all the storms crashing around us, we can find refuge in him and shelter. Sing songs of joy. Lay your head down at night and sleep. David's a great teacher. Like we said yesterday, maybe not a role model, but a great teacher. We'll see you guys tomorrow. 2 parts today, remember. Talk to you later. Get some coffee.